Despite the Birds' 2-0 start, Philadelphia's in need of some good news. Sounds like a key weapon is set to return, while the Rams just suffered a big loss. Plus, the real reason why A.J. Brown is struggling, that Kevin Patullo must fix ASAP, a sneaky good move that Howie has got to do again, the scary reality that is about to become the Eagles' defense. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Alright, well, the Super Bowl rematch is officially over, and despite the struggles, as we know, Philadelphia won. And yet now, another familiar foe has entered the crosshairs as the Birds will now look to beat the Rams once again, following their Saquon Barkley-led drubbing of LA during the regular season last year, and then of course the nail-biter in the snow during the legendary NFC divisional round win. And so to celebrate, how about I give away another one of Jordan Spector's art pieces here. This is the Saquon house call. Gave it away last week, but we got another one, so if this video hits 60,000 views, I'll randomly pick one person who drops a like on today's video and comments Saquon down below to win this bad boy right here. Oh, and make sure you're subscribed because 45% of you aren't who watch my show regularly, and if you're selected to be a winner but not subscribed, then I'm going to pick somebody else. Now, first bit of important news to get into this week. It sounds like Dallas Goedert has a very high chance to play this weekend after missing the Chiefs matchup due to a minor knee injury, as Goedert was seen traveling with the team up to KC, something that injured players almost never do. That, of course, paired with the fact that Philadelphia has not placed him on short-term IR, is a very good sign that Dallas Goedert could actually play this week versus the Rams. Which, by the way, Philadelphia desperately needs 88 back ASAP, not just because he was the really only over-the-middle threat Philadelphia's had the first two weekends, not a good thing, but it's true, but mainly because Grant Calcaterra has been an absolute liability when it comes to blocking. Like I already showed you this on Monday, Philadelphia likely hits a big play to A.J. Brown on the opening play of the game if Calcaterra doesn't completely whiff on the block. But it wasn't just that play, as Calcaterra time and time again was struggling blocking, a key factor of being a tight end in Philadelphia's offense. And even with Nick Sirianni's press conference on Monday being a typical Nick Sirianni PC presser, he tried to say, oh, Calcaterra, he played okay, Kylan Granson, they were fine. He did let slip that Philadelphia's offense really does need 88 back right at the beginning.
Obviously, the production wasn't as high as maybe it will be when Dallas is in the game, but they did their assignment and they did it well. So every game calls for a little bit something different based off of. You always want to get your best guys in the game, but sometimes you want to get different looks on the defense based off of how they play.
Either way, Goedert back or not, I do expect Philadelphia and Howie Roseman to also call up once again practice squad tight end Cameron Latu to be Saquon Barkley's lead blocker. Latu performed some fullback duties versus the Chiefs, as Brian Baldner pointed out, delivered some serious blocking juice that Philadelphia was really hoping to have from the now injured Ben Van Sumeren.
The Eagles have second down at the 5. When Jalen Hurts kicks up his foot here and he waves in the rookie Cameron Latu, never played in an NFL game in his life, played 6 snaps. This is the best block I saw all day by anybody. Bam! Like he hits a Menahu and he drills a Menahu into the end zone. And Saquon runs right behind him. Like you watch this hit, you watch this head snap. Like Latu said, you know what? If I only play one play in my life, bam, I'm going to go bam. I'm going to go hit him with some bam and buckle him. And I'm going to take him right into the end zone. Latu gave a whole lot of Latu to a Menahu right there. They got down to the goal line. They would score on a tush push the next play.
Moving over to LA, and they also had a very surprising injury of their own that dropped yesterday as cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon suffered a broken clavicle during the team's win over the Titans this past Sunday. Witherspoon was the Rams' top cornerback entering 2025, and losing him is certainly going to be a major blow. I now expect veteran Darius Williams to take his spot on Sunday, but Williams was a healthy scratch versus the Titans this past week, so that should tell you everything you need to know about how LA feels about their backup options on the outside. Oh, and by the way, the other Rams starting cornerback right now is Emmanuel Forbes, so paging A.J. Brown, anyone? Anyone? Obviously, advantage Philadelphia. Hopefully the passing game can improve. We'll talk about that in a second, but Dallas Goedert should be back at practice on Wednesday. That's going to be the determining factor in if he actually is going to play. They don't actually practice on Tuesday when I drop this video, but on Wednesday's practice, if he's out there, as we expect him to be, he should probably play on Sunday versus the Rams. Now, speaking of Philadelphia's passing attack, and of course, everybody by now has their own theory as to why the Birds' new OC, Kevin Patullo, has started with the worst passing numbers through 2 games of any of his predecessors. And while yes, it's not obviously a one-size-fits-all answer, I've come to my own conclusion that everything is way too vanilla and way too predictable. Want an example? Well, how about this? Philadelphia's run-look percentage based on formation is completely unacceptable, with Jalen lining up under center or in pistol being a near guarantee of a handoff to a running back. Pair that with the Chiefs blitzing a record time since 2019, and clearly Hurts' ability to throw the football is going to be degraded because teams know when the birds are running, and when they're not, they're blitzing the heck out of him.
Went through this morning some of the self-scout stuff, and we get all those numbers, and you try to counteract those going in, and sometimes situationally, the plays pop up where you're just not able to do that. But definitely on our mind as far as when you plan those things. You always want to make sure, I have a tendency I can break. Definitely need to do that this week.
But formations and blitzes aside, the real main issue as to why, for instance, A.J. Brown is not getting enough passes or enough targets or enough down-the-field shots is because the route tree that Kevin Patullo is having A.J. Brown run the first 2 weeks of the season, it's as bad as I could possibly have thought. It might even be worse. For example, A.J. Brown's average depth of target through 2 games is 7.4 yards. That's nearly 5 yards shorter than his average over the last 6 seasons in the NFL. Plus, he's had 0 chance to run after the catch, which is another staple of number 11's game. And all this makes a ton of sense when you actually watch the All-22 film of A.J. Brown's route tree from Sunday because it feels like almost 99% of his routes are either 5-yard stops, they love those, or how about the fan favorite, 5-yard in-breaking routes. And yes, A.J. Brown has run a lot of these stops and ins throughout his entire time in Philadelphia, but per next-gen stats, A.J. Brown ran in-breaking routes a career-high 48% of these first 2 games. And like it or not, Philadelphia has never used A.J. Brown like CeeDee Lamb or Amon-Ra St. Brown. And so, while yes, you still got to run slants and you got to run 5-yard stops, the fact that it's been this, like I said, vanilla is a massive concern and must change as soon as possible. I mean, even compare a Brian Johnson route tree for A.J. Brown from 2023 to this past Sunday. I know we all hated Brian Johnson, but at least the route tree on the right here has even a little bit more diversity and a lot more depth. And at least to Kevin Patullo's credit this morning on Tuesday, it does sound like he's open and trying to add a little bit more variety to the Birds' passing attack.
Yeah, I think when you look at when we game plan and stuff like that, that's obviously always the first thing we do is how do we want to push the ball down the field. And as a staff, we work really hard on the plan, especially these next couple of days, to put that on there, and that's a part of it. And sometimes, in game, it just doesn't happen. It's definitely something we want to do. It's not something we're avoiding. So I know going forward, we have the plan in place, and if it comes up, it'll definitely happen.
Now, again, let me be clear here. I'm 100% in the corner of they will figure this out. And we saw last season, Jalen Hurts through the first 6 weeks had 3 games under 200 yards passing. The problem is we also saw the Birds' playoff run where Hurts, Brown, the entire offensive system was firing on all cylinders and blew out a couple of really good teams and defenses. So obviously, we know most recently what the offense is capable of. The first 2 weeks have not been that. The good news, though, is that despite the yardage issue and the route issues and the play calling, scoring really hasn't been a problem, as Philadelphia averaged 2.5 points per drive in 2024 and currently sit at 2.4 points per drive here in 2025. That obviously is a plus because, in case you forget the whole Kellen Moore can't score in the first quarter nonsense, we dealt with that a lot early last season, and at least they're scoring early. Obviously, I'm like you, next-gen stats only tell one part of the story. We all can see with our eyes that Philadelphia's offense is nowhere near what it was the final 2 games of the 2024 postseason against the Chiefs and the Washington Commanders. But my hope is that Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni are paid millions of dollars to see what we see and figure it out. And I'm hoping that Sunday versus a depleted Rams secondary can be their true, honestly, breakout moment.
Well, I think even if you go back to last year and years past, you want the offense to trend in the right direction, and that direction is at the end of the season. That's where you want to peak it out. So really, as long as we continue to go through what we're going through and winning games and finding ways to win, at some point during the year, we'll say, oh, we went through that, and here's how we fixed that, and here's how we solved it. And we went through that last year, and we've gone through that before. So I think it's an important thing that we go through it now rather than later, and we continue to trend in the right direction. Because ultimately, we have a great coaching staff, we have unbelievable players, and we know we can problem solve it. And every year is so different, right? And every game is different. Everything is going to be different. It'll never be the same. And that was kind of the big message we had to start the year with the offense. It's not going to be the same. So don't think it will be. It'll feel totally different. It's going to act totally different, and it will be different. But as long as we can embrace that and keep pushing through it and developing, we'll be good at the end.
Now, moving back to the good, and I can't help but get over how impressive newcomer Za'Darius Smith was in his Philadelphia debut. I mean, he just played 20 snaps at the defensive end position and still got after Mahomes and also played great against the run. Between Josh Uche, who was once again the highest graded defensive lineman for Philadelphia, and Smith, plus the rest of the guys up front, I'm loving the potential as the season goes forward.
2 weeks ago, Za'Darius Smith was just hanging out, waiting for the phone to ring. Oh, it rang. Here he is taking on the guard right here. Perfect. Just keeps his outside arm free and chases down Pacheco. Za'Darius looked like he was in midseason form. Everything that he did. You watch the quarterback right here. and then you fall back into the run. And you take Pacheco down, and you let him know. You take him to the mat. All right? Let him know who Za'Darius is and all about. Like right here he is, bam. Like long arm right here, gets that hand down, turns the corner. Him and Mukuba get to Patrick Mahomes. No better feeling. You're on the couch 2 weeks ago. Now you're sitting on top of Mahomes at Arrowhead? Come on. That's awesome stuff. And then you get this. Like against the run, he was really good, really solid. Bam. Take on the guard, stay alive, get in on there. Him and, like, when you wrap the legs up, the running backs don't go any further. He got Pacheco by both legs.
Likewise, Adoree Jackson, again, I'll say it briefly, was much better than he was in week 1. Wasn't perfect, obviously we know that, but for all the Ja'Cory and Bennett lovers out there, Bennett did play versus the Chiefs, 5 snaps, and on those 5 snaps, Mahomes was 2 for 3 for 21 yards and the rushing touchdown scramble that happened right in front of Bennett.
I thought it was improved. I thought he did some good things, and hopefully that will kickstart him into being a good corner for us.
One defender to keep an eye on as week 3 rolls along is definitely Jalen Carter, who, yes, played on Sunday and did play well, I might add, but was seen with some lackluster effort on a few plays you see here, leading many to wonder if he was technically in full game shape heading into his week 1. And well, Vic Fangio today seemed to agree during his Tuesday press conference.
He had some good rushes. He's still, I think he needs to round into better shape. Both he and I talked about that, and he readily admits that, and I think we'll even get more. But I thought for everything that has gone on in his world, I thought he played pretty good.
On one hand, I totally get it. Like an NFL game, 4 quarters is very hard to duplicate conditioning-wise, even during training camp and the offseason, but still, Jordan Davis's conditioning has always been the big problem, and yet Jordan Davis, week 1 versus the Dallas Cowboys, and especially on Sunday versus the Chiefs, his conditioning was not a problem at all. So here's to hoping Jalen Carter has a very, heavy-winded next couple of days and gets his body in shape to play a lot of snaps versus Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. Now, moving on to some quick hitters here, and how about the highest-graded offensive lineman in the NFL through 2 games? That would be Jordan Mailata. Not a surprise, not a lot to say here as well, but he's been fantastic and great to see him being recognized as the top offensive lineman through 2 weeks. Also in need of recognition, how about the passer rating allowed by the Birds' 2 incredible rookie defenders so far this season? 37.5 and 42.4. I think Howie might have done it again. Vic Fangio has been using Mukuba and Campbell all over the defense the first 2 weeks, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from these rookies. It's further proof that Howie Roseman absolutely nailed the first 2 picks of the 2025 NFL draft, and I think they're just going to get better game after game.
Yeah, he had some really nice plays. The 2 you're alluding to, obviously. Did a good job when we brought him on the 1 pressure. I thought he had some really, really nice plays, and then some other ones that we got to eliminate, too.
Unfortunately, what Howie will not be able to stop going forward is the seemingly impending ban of the brotherly shove as early as next year. As Twitter, if you didn't see, went wild on Sunday, following a few slow-motion replays of Philadelphia's seemingly false starting during a few of their successful tush pushes, which honestly shouldn't be a big deal because the Eagles have not been doing this in the past, not like they false start on every single play. Plus, the Chiefs also jumped off sides, didn't have that called either during a couple of these pushes. But weird of all was the fact that the NFL started banning all of the videos I'm showing you right now from being shared on Twitter, citing copyright claims. Plus, the refs during the Monday Night Football game, Chargers and Raiders, did make LA adjust their offensive line before a tush push on Monday night, which of course, both of those we've never really seen, as NFL refs have never gone to Philadelphia and said, hey, back up a little bit before snapping a tush push. Plus, the NFL copyright claiming videos on Twitter of the missed calls by the refs. It's not a good sign and indicates that eventually, as all Eagle fans know, the brotherly shove will be banned. Either way, the good news is they can't ban the tush push this season, so Philadelphia will keep running it with great effectiveness. Nick Sirianni mentioned during his press conference yesterday.
The one clip I saw of it was slowed down so much that I'm not sure you can see that to the naked. I mean, it was slowed down so much, and I get how we can manipulate things and show things like that, but it was slowed down so much, it was like, right? But we have to be, we understand that we have to be perfect on that play. And we'll keep working on being perfect on that play.
I honestly could care less about the brotherly shove because I know Philadelphia will have success simply quarterback sneaking without the shove going forward. The crazy thing is watching every single Chiefs fan and really the entire NFL fan base whine and cry about a play this past Sunday that everyone is free to run. They just, as we keep saying, are unable to do so because the Birds have figured it out. Now, of course, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including all the updates from practice from Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, getting you ready for week 3 of the NFL season. My hope is that the entire Eagles offense figure things out here versus the Rams, missing Ahkello Witherspoon. Maybe they design some more exotic routes for A.J. Brown. Who knows? Either way, make sure you guys are subscribed because this is a potential giveaway happening at the end of today's video on next video, I think, if we hit 60,000 subscribers. But if you haven't checked out Jordan Spector's website yet, I'll link it down below. And I also have a discount for 10% off if you want to order one of your own. Promo code ThomasMott10. All of his art pieces are fantastic. We've partnered with him to give away a bunch more of these the next couple of weeks, and so stay tuned for that. But make sure you guys are subscribed. Get today's video to 60,000 views, and then I'll give away another one of these, hopefully on my next video. Either way, I'm Thomas Mott, hanging out here on a Tuesday. This has been Thomas Mott Show.